Most people think you need to spend thousands of dollars in ads or have a huge audience in order to get customers, and this is completely wrong. 3 years ago, I was broke, I had no following and no idea how to get customers. I was also desperate, so I tried every marketing channels I could find. Today, 10 of those marketing channels are making money for my product every single day. Some brought in $10,000, some brought millions. And most of them are actually free and easier to use than you think. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 10 marketing channels that worked for me so you can use them too to get customers. Let's dive in. Let's start with the most underrated marketing channels out there called outreach. It costs almost $0. It requires a little bit of effort, but nothing too crazy, and the return on investment is great. This is how I grew this software business to over $80,000 in revenue. I have another PayPal account with over $10,000 there, and I did not spend a single dollar on it. And back then, it was 2018. I knew nothing about marketing. I'm not even English native, and yet I managed to use cold emails in order to grow this business to this revenue. The reason 99% of people don't get results with cold outreach is because they're trying to sell a product when actually what you want to do is to get a reply from the person and open a conversation. For instance, this is an example of a terrible cold outreach. Not personalized, how are you? I know you don't care about how I feel. Then pitching me your product with a bunch of texts and unclear call to action. Instead of doing this, let's talk about how you can get the most out of cold outreach to grow your startup. First, you will need to find leads. A lead is basically a contact of a potential customer. So it includes email, could be the name of the person and some extra information. So you want to go where you can find all of your potential customers. That could be TripAdvisor, Yelp, Twitter, wherever your customers hang out, you want to go there. In my case, I'm going to pretend I'm selling a software for escape room businesses. What you want to do here is you want to collect information about each of your customers. So let's take an escape room business and you want to find something very important. You want to find the name of the business owner. Now, it's not always written everywhere, but one good place to find it is in the reviews. Sometimes they reply to reviews from people. It looks like in this case, they didn't reply. So what you want to do in this case would be to look for terrible reviews. You apply those filters because usually the business owner would tend to reply. So in this case, you would see that, for instance, here we have Victor who replied for the business and say, you can feel free to reach out to our manager, and you have even better, you have the email, the personal email of the manager. Okay, then you want to download a little CRM for Gmail or whatever email box you're using. So I used to use Streak, so it's like a little pipeline that you plug into Gmail. And you can have multiple stages. So the first stage would be lead, so the person you haven't contacted yet. So you put those contacts there first. And then you have stage 1 after sending one email, stage 2 after a follow-up email if they didn't reply to the first one, stage 3, stage 4, etc. And then you want to do something very simple. You want to send cold email that are well crafted. So this is an example of email that I used to send that got 50% open rate and 10% reply rate. And this is the entire strategy here on how I grew a software to 80,000 in revenue. If you want to write a good cold email, you have to make it super short, like 3 sentences, and you want to follow some kind of structure. So for instance, in this case, I open the email with a subject line that's first mention the name of the business owner, and second is about the benefit they will get with my product and not my product itself. Then I make it personal by again saying the name of the business owner. Then I show them that there is an opportunity, like they're missing out something, they're missing out potential customers. I create a little curiosity cap that's talking about these like mini games bots that people like to share. So hopefully that make them curious, and the emails end with a simple call to action. I don't ask them to visit my website. I don't ask them to book a call. I just ask them to respond to this email if they want to learn more details. If they don't reply, I'll add them to the next stage, follow up 2 to 3 days later, and then one last follow up maybe a week later, and then move on. And this is how I grow this like little software business from $0 to $80,000. I was selling a monthly subscription to access to the software for $199 per month. So if I send 20 cold emails per day, 2 would reply, 1 would subscribe, I would add 1 new customer for $199 a month per day. To be honest, it's a bit of a boring strategy. It's not super fun, but if you do it properly, it works. It is the fastest way to make money on the internet. Okay, let's talk about free tools. This is by far my favorite marketing channel. The cost is free. The effort required is kind of minimal, and the return on investment is great. It's great that it's also good for promoting literally anything you want to sell on the internet. If you're a developer or if you're learning how to code, this will fulfill your inner dreams. So what is a free tool? So let's assume that here you have a paid SaaS or a paid product or whatever this is. You want to create standalone free mini apps that are promotion for your paid app. So a good example of this is LogoFast. This is a little tool for people to create icons and logos for their startups. And what I do is on the right side, I have a promotion for my coding course, because I assume that if you're looking to make a logo for a website, you might want to learn how to build a website as well. This app that I built in 3 days made over $10,000 in revenue for my product. And in the past 30 days only, there are 583 people who visited my website through this free tool. Now, how do you find ideas for free tools? The first one is to extract a paid feature from your paid product. So a good example of this is Tweet Hunter. It's a paid tool to help people write better on Twitter and grow an audience. And they created this like generate tweet thing where you can just type the name of the person, the hashtag of the person you want to tweet like, and it's going to generate a bunch of tweets as if you're the person. And surprise, surprise, right here, there's a little ad for the actual paid tool. So they extracted one of their features and they put it for free on the internet, and they use that as an ad for their own product. And another way to get free tools idea is to get inside of your customer journey and think about all the previous steps they will have to accomplish in order to use your product or think about using your product. Here is one of my habit tracker. I track my habit like this, then I have some numbers, etc. One good way to get users is to make them realize what they're going to accomplish in 1 year if they tick their habit every single day. So this is why I created this app called Visualize Habits, where you can see 1 year later how much you will achieve. So let's say, for instance, I want to read 15 minutes 3 times a week, and I want to meditate 10 minutes every single day. And also, because I am a developer, I want to code, let's say 60 minutes every single day. And when I click next as a person, I would get this like a cute card here where I see that I'm gonna read 8 books this year. I'm gonna meditate for 3 days over the next 365 days. And now you can see I have this little like how to reach my goal, like how do I move on to the next step. And if I click here, then boom, I have a promotion for my habits tracker. And actually, if I click on achieve my goals, I created this little system where it's embedded with my habit tracker, where I'm going to import all those habits that I thought of, and I can directly create an account this way. This previous tool got over 10,000 visitors in 24 hours when I launched it, and I got hundreds and thousands of users from my habit tracker just like this. There are a few requirements if you want to make a good free tool. The first one, of course, it has to be 100% free. You also want to have just one feature. You want to make it extremely simple. If you have 2 features idea in mind, make 2 free tools. You want to use a smart name. That could be either a name that people can search for SEO purposes. So this is a free tool to generate like a user persona for marketing people. You can search for like what type of business you're in and who you're targeting, and it's going to create like personas of what are typical customers doing. This is 100% free. And surprise, surprise, at the bottom, there is an ad for their AI marketing platform to help you grow your business. And user persona in the name is likely something that people will search on Google. So this is a smart naming. Another way to name it smart is to just try to do whatever the product is doing. So here, LogoFast, it's a tool to create a logo fast. The name is very important because this is what people will search if they see like a TikTok video or something. They'll search for this on Google. So it has to be either extremely simple or research oriented, like SEO oriented. Next one, you don't want to have any sign up or any emails or anything. You want the product to be accessible right on the homepage without having me as a user do anything. And you want to create a sort of a seamless plug. A seamless plug, for instance, this one I showed you earlier is very seamless because it feels like the habit tracker, it's the logical next step. A bad example of this is one of my products too, is like a top productivity hack that are built by the internet. So anyone can submit productivity hack. And you see at the bottom, I have an ad, for instance, for my course. This is just a bad promotion because it looks like an ad. Once the tool is ready, and we're going to cover that in other part of this video, you want to publish your tool everywhere. So Hacker News, Product Hunt, like directories, Twitter, etc. And finally, don't overthink it. Just build it, ship it, and repeat. Keep making those tools. Don't spend too much time working on each of those tools. Just make one great feature, launch it, and move on. How to make money with affiliate marketing. The cost is like medium because you'll give a commission to people who refer your product. The effort on your site is very minimum, and the return on investment is pretty great. It's good for any product that is working already. We're going to cover that later. Affiliate marketing is how I made over $50,000 in revenue for some of my products. Here is how it works. You have your paid product, whether it's a software, a course, whatever. You'll get users, and some of them are power users. They will love your product so much. So they will sign up for your affiliate program, and they will get a unique link that they can share with their audience and earn a commission whenever someone from their audience sign up using their link, which then will bring more users for your product and get you more affiliates. It's very simple to set up. There are 3 steps. The first one is you want to find an affiliate software. I use Rewardful. This is not a paid promotion here, but I use Rewardful and I love them. It's super easy to integrate with Stripe. I just add a little tracking script to my site and it's all set up. Then you want to create an SEO page with link and proof. So for instance, this is one of my affiliate program. I give it a dedicated page for SEO purposes. And then here I am not talking to my customers, I am talking to my affiliates. And what affiliates are looking for, and they're looking to make some money on the internet. So the copywriting on the page is important, and I'm clearly telling them that they can make some money using my affiliate program. There are a few elements that matter. So for instance, here I add this photo as a social proof to show that there's some people already making money with my affiliate program. Sometimes I add this little slider here to give people an idea of, how much money they could expect based on the number of referrals. And I keep adding more social proof to really show that if, for instance, this affiliate got 167 visitors and they earned $358 in commissions, I want to show that it is a working affiliate program. And sometimes I add a little button where they can download brand assets, so they can download my logo, headlines, etc., to make it easier for them to share the affiliate program. And finally, you want to promote this affiliate program. So if you have an audience on social media, this is definitely the place you want to promote, but sometimes you don't. And so what you can do here is you can promote it inside of your app. So the affiliate program I showed you earlier is like a code base for developers to ship startups faster. And on the code base, I have this like deployment part where it's like the end, you're done with the project. If you scroll at the bottom, there's like a button to apply to become an affiliate. I try to put it at the right time in my customer's journey in order to make it easy for them to sign up for the program. Another example, for instance, Jack Freaks is a serial entrepreneur. He builds lots of startups and he's using one of my startup to track analytics. And of course, I have set up an affiliate program for this web analytics startup so that when my users post a screenshot of their dashboard, they can also include a link, an affiliate link, and earn a commission. A few requirements here. First is do not bother if you don't have a working product already. You must be making money with that product. This is very important. Otherwise, you're going to lose your time and lose your affiliate's time. You want to be generous. You want to offer at least 30%, depending on your margin, of course, up to 50%. One thing you can do if you start building startups is to copy an existing business. So you're sure that the market and the product converts already, and you can offer a very generous affiliate program, like 50%. That way, if your product is good, of course, lots of people will jump on your affiliate program and share your product, and that will give you a competitive advantage. Next, you want to ban branded keywords. Of course, if someone search for ShipFast, one of my products, and they add Google Ads to include their affiliate link, it doesn't make sense to give them a commission because people were already looking for my product. And so what I do here, I normally would ban them, but in this case, I just figured out someone is using Google Ads to promote ShipFast. So when I click the link, there are like some parameters right here that shows me as a developer that the person is coming from a Google paid ad campaign. And so I just delete the referral cookie and it will not get any commission because this is breaking the rules, the terms of service of my affiliate program. And of course, you want to mention that clearly on your affiliate program rules. Again, one last thing, you want to set a 30 days window for the payout minimum, because sometimes some affiliates are not well intentioned. They'll sign up for your program, they'll purchase your product using their own affiliate link, which makes them earn a commission, and then they will ask for a refund or chargeback, and they will just earn the commission. To avoid this, try to set up at least a 30 days window minimum. I usually do 60 days for people who are just getting started, affiliates with 0 commissions, and then I slowly increase them to a 30 days window. Hacker News is a gold mine to promote your startup. I use Hacker News to drive well over 25,000 visitors to all of my site combined. It requires $0 on your site, a very minimal effort, like you could literally be up and running in 3 minutes, and this is a good return on investment. You won't always go viral, but if it goes viral, and it's crazy. and it is best for any sorts of like digital product, especially if it's for developers or if it's using some kind of new trendy tech like AI. The problem with Hacker News is that most people don't use it right. So those are some of the rules you want to follow in order to get the most out of Hacker News and eventually go viral. First, you need to understand who is on this platform. This is very important. It is backed by Y Combinator, the famous startup incubator. So it's the ecosystem of like tech people, startup entrepreneurs, lots of developers. So you can see here on the homepage, it is a very techie, nerdy platform. This is very important because this is how you're gonna shape your message when you're gonna post across the platform. On the Hacker News website, you have a category called Show. This is the only place you want to promote your startup. This is a place made for people like you and I who ship startups on the internet. First, you want to submit your project and you want to write Show HN column. You always want to start with this because this is going to put your post into the Show HN category. Then after posting, you're gonna end up in the Show New or the newest post. And if you get like above 3, 4, 5 votes, then you're gonna be pushed to the main show category. And sometimes what can happen, it didn't happen to me, but what can happen is if you stay at the top of the Show Hacker News category for a little while, you might even end up on the homepage of Hacker News. And now we're talking really big numbers. To increase the chance of your post to get upvoted, you wanna always start with I made XYZ. So for instance, those are some of my posts. As you can see here, my very first Hacker News post, Show HN, I made a movie recommendation app based on your mood. Here I have zero karma, like it doesn't matter how many followers you have on the platforms, it won't help you go viral. But if you use the I made, you increase the chance because you're telling a story, you're telling your story. Then you want to have an outcome base. What is the tool you made for? So for instance, here it's a movie recommendation app based on your mood. So it's interesting. It's like it's an app to recommend you movies. Another one that went viral is this one with 152 upvotes. It's a habit tracker to fight procrastination. Again, here I'm telling the outcome of why I made the app, not just the app itself. Then you want to use a tech-based language. Remember, it's used by developers. So you want to be a techie somehow. So in this case, I use the word gamified, which is a bit nerdy. Try to use words that are tech and trendy. If you need inspiration for your post, go to bestofshowhn.com and it will show you all the best performing posts of the Show HN category. And you will see that the recurring pattern is that it almost always starts with I made and then something, have created a new type of puzzle, I made a site where blah, blah, blah. This is a recurring pattern and use that as a template to create your own post. Now, 2 no-goes. First, do not ask for upvotes. They are moderators on the platform. If they see people coming from your post link, you will get banned instantly, so avoid that. And you also don't want to use emoji. You want to speak Hacker News language. They don't use emojis, so don't use emojis. And finally, if you want to post multiple times on Hacker News, you will need to become active because there is a rule that says you can post once, you need to engage 5 times. So like posts, comment on posts, like show that you're an actual user of Hacker News if you want to post over and over. Okay, you're gonna call me crazy on this one, but hear me out. Cold calls. This is the best way to learn marketing. If you're in for the long term, I would definitely recommend you to give it a try. You just pick your phone and you call businesses and you try to pitch your product. This is extremely hard, but you're gonna learn so much about human psychology. You want to ask ChatGPT to make a little script, like a cold calling script. So how to open the call, how to handle some of the objections. And then you want to find information about the business you're going to call, the name of the business owner, the location. Try to find stuff on the internet, like I don't know, maybe it's from reviews or maybe they're fully booked or something. Try to find something that will instantly make the person who pick up the phone like, oh, this guy is interesting. I swear this is one of the best way to learn marketing. How to use PSEO or programmatic SEO to drive traffic to your startups. This is how I drove over 50,000 visitors to some of my websites, and currently there are like 200 people visiting this site in the past 24 hours, 100 people visiting this site in the past 24 hours, and 110 people visiting this website. What is programmatic SEO? It's basically you rank a bunch of long-tail keywords on Google so that people discover you through those keywords and they end up on your main product page. It is one of the best way for developers to bring traffic on autopilot to your website. It doesn't cost anything. It requires medium effort from your side, and the return on investment is great. This is good for products that have some kind of a search intent. How to get started? You'll need very basic programming skills, so I think you can use AI to create those websites or directories. First, you want to find a relevant keyword to your business. So let's assume that I'm gonna make a directory for raid room. Like I want to rank raid rooms, like those places where you break stuff. I want to add user reviews. I want to make it easy for people to find good reviews and good raid rooms around them. If I search for raid room inside of this free keyword generator tool, I will discover how much traffic there is. You can see Raid Room Atlanta, Raid Room Chicago has a bunch of volume, like over 1,000 searches. And the difficulty, the KD, so keyword difficulty, is quite easy. If you use the paid version of Ahrefs, you can actually find more details about the exact keyword difficulty and volume. What you want to do is you want to have one main keyword for which you want to rank, and you want to find longer tail keywords. So that can be the location, that could be skills like beginner, advanced, pros, etc. It really depends on your business. And then you want to build a web page skeleton, like sort of like a mold where we're going to stuff keyword in there later. For instance, this is one of my websites, workbookpdf.com, and I can see here, this is the same template I'm reusing for all those pages to be indexed on Google. The only difference is the language that people are going to learn. So personalized Japanese workbook, personalized Ukrainian workbook, etc., etc. Now this is a raw example, but just to show you what it would look like, you would have your HTML tags, and you would have like a variables inside of those skeletons. So later we're going to stuff data to have a bunch of like thousands of pages that look different, even though they have the same skeleton. And then you want to collect and stuff these data. So one good place to do that is you can go on Fiverr, you can hire someone who would go on websites and just collect all the data that you need. Or you can also scrub the web yourself if you want to. That will require advanced developing skills. And then you want to optimize your web page skeleton for SEO. So you want to make sure that your images have the right alt attributes. You want to make sure that your links are titled. You want to make sure you stuff the important keywords in the H1 tag. You want to make sure you're clean on the SEO side. And the last part is to get backlinks. Backlinks are like other websites linking to your site, which gonna tell Google that your site is trustworthy. A good place to get backlinks for free is to use Product Hunt. You're gonna get one backlink. You can also use my indie page website. If you create your portfolio and you'd add links to your website, you're gonna get a nice backlink. And the last part to increase a little bit the speed at which you're gonna get indexed is to submit your site on the Search Console. So just enter some of your URLs here, ask Google to index it as soon as possible, and then you just have to wait. As you can see here for this site, it took a month until they started to take off, and if you have done your work properly, you're gonna get consistent traffic over the years. Next on the line, we have Meta ads, Instagram, Facebook ads. This is how I draw for these little websites over, I think, was it 400 Facebook and 300, like I think there's around 1,000 visitors a month visiting my site. And last month I spent around $1.4 thousand for that. The cost per purchase was around $48. So I made around $6,000 from ads last month. The return on investment can be great. If you're a developer like me and you're not a big fan of ads, the effort can be significant, and the cost, as most ads usually, it's quite significant. It works for pretty much anything, but you want to make sure you have a product that is already converting, just like affiliate programs. Setting ads is actually pretty simple. First, you want to install the Pixel, so this little tracking script on your site. You can actually install the extension called Meta Pixel Helper to see if it's on a website. So this is one of my websites, for instance. And there is actually the Metapixel install tracking page views. This is how you let Facebook know that people who click on their Facebook ads actually end up visiting the site. Then you want to manually track some information. For me, I make it very simple because I don't like ads, so I don't want to spend too much time on ads. So I just track payments. So whenever someone end up making a purchase on my site, they redirect it to a, I think this /course page, and right here I would send Facebook a little event that says someone purchased. And then you want to start launching your campaign on the Facebook Meta Ads Manager. So there are two things that are important: the targeting, so who is going to see this ad. There are two important notions in marketing: knowing like a cold audience and a warm audience. A warm audience could be someone who knows you through social media, could be someone who has visited your website, etc. And cold is people who have never heard of you. And of course, it's much easier to sell to a warm audience, but the data set is also much more limited because it's only people who know you already. So if you're in doubt, the best way to get started is to do retargeting. So target only people who have already visited your site, so they're somehow familiar with your brand, and your ads will convert better. And then you want to do creatives, like you want to create like images and photos and videos. For instance, this is one of my ad on mobile. It looks like this. So there's first like the copy, and then there is the image itself. I am lucky one of my good friend who is much better at me than ads, Nico, is helping me. He built some cool stuff for people who are learning how to make ads, like a little guide to learn how to do it the right way if you want to check this out. And then for the image, and this is very important because this is what's going to catch the attention, you want to make sure you use templates that are already working. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to start with a blank template. You want to find stuff on the internet that works. Those are some of the ads I run. You can find like libraries and templates everywhere on the internet. You have this famous one where you have like this iOS Note app, the famous Drake meme, etc. You want to make sure you don't start from scratch. And one really good place to get started is to just make a screenshot right now of this YouTube video, steal this ad, add what your competitors are doing the wrong way this way, and add what you're doing the right way here, and this could be a perfect ad for your product. Building a personal brand. This will cost you $0, but it will cost you a lot of time. But on the flip side, it's probably what will bring the most return on investments, not only marketing wise, but also from a personal standpoint. You can meet friends, you can discover cool people, you can organize meetup all across the world with your followers. This is probably one of the best thing I have done so far. I grow this Twitter audience to 60,000 followers in the past 3 years. Last year, I decided to start YouTube and I grow a YouTube channel to 120,000 followers. And this has brought tens of thousands of visitors to my website. So if we exclude direct known, Twitter is the second source that's bringing most of the traffic to my startups. Building a personal brand could be a 2 hours long video. So I'm gonna try to keep this very short and give you the main highlight and some of the mistakes I see people make. The first one is you wanna pick your favorite platform. If you see, for instance, on my Instagram account, I barely have any follower. It's because I am not active on Instagram because I am not good with photos. I don't enjoy in the daily life taking photos. I find better to write text because I have a bunch of thoughts, and text is a good way for me to put on my thoughts. You want to find the platforms that fits you. If you're young, if you're used to TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you want to start creating those kind of like short format videos. If you're good with photos and you have like a beautiful camera to make like photos are very nice, you want to build your audience on Instagram first. Find what is right for you. Number 2, you want to find your unique personality traits. We are all unique in some way. Sometimes even something that you think is not a good thing, like you might think like you're overactive or you cannot focus on something, but you can turn this into your strengths. For instance, I struggle to focus too much on one thing, and that is somehow my strengths because then that makes me create a bunch of websites and stuff. Like I get bored very quickly and I really want to move on to the next one. And this is how I built my entire Twitter account under the Ship Fast guy, the guy who ship a lot of startups. If you look at famous personalities out there, like whether it's The Rock or artists, etc., they all have something unique. You want to find what is yours and double down on that. Then you want to craft your entire profile just around this unique personality trait. For instance, mine here shows all the websites that I work on. I don't even need to write a sentence. It's just I am the guy who ships lots of websites. That's it. And of course, your banner, profile pictures, the way you write, etc., everything have to somehow match your profile and your personality trait. Then first, if you have like literally 0 followers, the first thing you want to do before writing or creating content is to actually consume content. So you want to follow creators that you admire. You want to immerse yourself inside of the culture. You want to learn the language, learn the codes. That is going to help you write content. Then when you want to start writing content, depending on what kind of business and what kind of things you're building, you want to share behind the scenes. So there's just a photo of me on my laptop and say, today I did this. You want to share results. I just got my first customers with a nice screenshot of your Stripe dashboard. You want to share learnings. You want each of your content created to have one outcome. At least for me, I remember at the beginning, I had like a bunch of thoughts and I wanted to share this and this and that. You want to make sure that you try to organize your thoughts and you try to ask yourself, it's like, is this a behind the scene content? Is this like a result oriented inspirational tweet? Is it like a more of an educational tweet with learnings? Try to make one piece of content per outcome you want. And finally, and this is very important if you're getting started, try to use template. It is scary to look at a blank page and like, what am I going to write about? For instance, this is one of my tweets that performed well, and you can see here, this is an actual template. I saw someone making a similar post for writers, and I was like, oh, this is quite interesting. And so I reused that template. 1 hour of this, 1 hour of that, 1 hour of that. Do this every day of the year, and by 2026, you would have outcome. I'm not saying that you should write everything in template. You also want to sound like an actual human, but it is great to look at what's working for other creators and try to see how you can use that as a template and add your own signature to it. And finally, remember two things. The first one is it takes a lot of time. And the second one is that an audience won't follow you for no reason. You need to build cool stuff. Next, we have Reddit. The cost is zero. We have a minimum effort required, and the return on investment is medium because you never know what's going to happen. This, for instance, is a post on a Reddit that went viral, and in one day I got like 50,000 visitors. You never really know what's going to happen on Reddit. One thing to know is that Reddit hates ads, so they hate promotion. So most subreddits won't allow you to post anything. One of them that still allows you to post stuff, like it's made for people who want to share their side project. So you can post anything here. You can make a promotional post. You want to reuse the Hacker News formula we have studied. So you want to say like, I have built XYZ and something happened and the outcome for people. Usually it performs best when you have a little video to introduce your product. So that can be just you, like I'm doing now with the camera, explaining why you created the product and just showing a little demo of that product. Most other subreddits will just ban you for sharing anything promotionals. So there are two things you can do. The first one is there are big subreddits like the /entrepreneurs where you can just share stories. So this is a post of mine that went viral. There's zero promotion. I'm just educating people on what I've learned from selling my AI tool for $35,000. And if people are interested, they can visit my profile, and on my profile, it says that I build apps, and they're like a link to all of my websites. Another hack on Reddit, don't tell them I told you that, but so what I would do when I make free tools, so these other marketing channels I mentioned, I would launch them in those subreddits. But of course, if it's a promotion, like like there's an ad on the right, then I'll get banned. So what I do is I create a little URL where, as a developer, if I add this on my site, I just hide the promotion. So now it looks like just a tool, like literally a free tool with zero promotion. That could be shared easily on Reddit. Later on, you can either remove the promotion, you'll get banned, but you'll get some people seeing your site. But you can also just do it as it is right now and add a little link to your social media profile. And that way you can grow an audience on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Reddit could just be a platform for people to discover your free tools, your work, and you channel that attention to your branded personal account. All right, we have directories. Directories is basically like a website that is made for people who launch products, because there are lots of tech enthusiasts who are curious about what's going on in tech. So this is a really good place to launch your product. The cost is either zero, sometimes it's free, sometimes it's a paid. I'll show you some directories later you can post on. The effort on your site is really minimum because you just have to make a listing, and the return on investment is really good. For instance, probably the most popular platform out there is Product Hunt. So for 24 hours, you have all those products competing, and the one with the most upvotes stay as the top and of course gets the most traffic. But traffic is not the only benefit. You usually get a backlink. You can also be shared inside of the newsletter of the actual directory. So Product Hunt newsletter, for instance, you would expect, if you're number one, maybe like 2,000 visitors in 24 hours. If you're reshared in their newsletter, you would expect another 2,000 clicks later on when they share the newsletter. So this could bring significant traffic. And also you would get a little badge. So for instance, this is one of my websites. I got this little badge here. For people who know Product Hunt, this adds social proof. I know quite a bit of Product Hunt. I have launched like over 20 websites on there, and I was awarded Product of the Year 2023. So I will share with you some tips. First, I also wanted to mention some other alternatives. We have Uneed, which is similar to Product Hunt, but is maintained by a solo developer. And we also have Tiny Launch, which is also maintained by a solo developer. So those are free directories for you to just promote your startup. If you want to invest a little bit of money and you make stuff related to AI, there is Futurepedia, which also has a bunch of users. And of course, there is an AI for that, which I think is the biggest AI directory. Those two will cost a little bit of money, but they're great directories that will bring a bunch of traffic. Okay, so now you have 24 hours to compete, and you have to get as many upvotes as possible. So there are two ways of getting votes. The first one is inbound upvotes, so upvotes that you get from people actually on the platform. For that, you have to make a good listing. A good listing is, of course, a good product, but that's normal. But you also need to have a good logo. So make something that is super easy. I see people like spending hundreds of dollars for a professional logo. You don't need that. Make a logo that symbolizes very simply what your product does. For instance, Buy Dispute is one of my projects. It's a shield with $1 inside. It protects your money. You want also a name that is extremely outcome oriented and easy to understand. Unless you are Stripe, which you have a name that does not make any sense, but you have VC money and you're going to conquer the payment world, you are like me, a solo developer. You don't want to make something smart, you want to make something simple. Buy dispute, remove dispute. And then your headline, it's basically 60 characters that will be shown on the homepage of the directory to explain what your product does in one sentence. Lots of people get it wrong, especially developers. You don't want to make it about your product, you want to make it about the people. So that can be either something that triggers my curiosity, it can be a sentence that inspires me an emotion. You want to remove your product from the equation. And second, you want to bring outbound upvotes. So if you're just getting started, you might not have an audience yet, but if you have, I don't know, 500 friends on Instagram, you can use that. That's already a really good start. I used to ask my family all the time to upvote my launch. And you want to use the badge. So this is just a screenshot of one of my sites when I launched it on Product Hunt. You want to add somewhere on your banner, header, footer, wherever that you want, a little icon that says we are live on Product Hunt or on any directory at the moment. Would love your support. And add a link back to that directory listing so that actual visitors of your site can also support you during this launch. Another really underestimated marketing channel is YouTube Live. So literally making a live of you coding on YouTube. This costs $0. This costs, except that you need a camera, it requires no effort on your side because you're just basically coding, and the return on investment is great. You can promote anything, especially if you're targeting developers or any like a B2C apps like a habit tracker, food logging, etc. So this is my YouTube channel. Back a year ago, I had 0 followers, and you can see that YouTube pushed some of my videos to people, like 50,000 views on a 3 hours long video. I have no idea what I'm doing there, but YouTube decided to push this video because there's a demand out there. So first, this will be good for your productivity. It sounds simple, but actually when you say that you're gonna show up at 11 a.m. and you start the stream, there's no way you spend time on Instagram because people are actually watching. So really it's going to skyrocket your productivity. Second, you're going to grow an audience. YouTube is going to push your content out there. So people are going to discover your channel and you're gonna build a little audience. Then you're gonna get customers. Because there's something really important to understand. One visitor from a random Hacker News website and a person who sees you coding live, those are two separate persons. One does not care about you, the other one trusts you already because they can see you through the live. And so even though you won't have big, massive numbers, just the fact that they're seeing you through the live make them much more likely to trust you. So you could literally be making money on the live stream while your product is not even finished. And finally, you will discover some stuff, some really random stuff, like some people will jump in and try to help you with a bug. The other day I had a French person who helped me with the design and we ended up reframing the entire app. Something will happen, and this, like all the noise that's created, usually it's a good thing for entrepreneurship. A few tips here. You want to either frame it as a challenge, so day 1 of growing a software to $1 million, day 2 of blah blah blah. You want to challenge yourself, and you also want to make a good thumbnail. So in my case, I was doing something like SaaS related, so this is for developers. That's why the background is like lines of code. There are also some tech icons like Next.js, Stripe, etc. So it's like crystal clear, it's about coding, and you just bring in a weird emotion. It is hard to get started with YouTube live stream, but this is something that can really change your life. And now, bonus tip, try all of those 11 marketing channels. It will become so good at marketing, you will never have to worry on how to get traffic again. Now, getting visitors is one thing, but converting these visitors into customers is another. And I see lots of people getting started who make those 5 mistakes. So to watch this video if you want to convert more customers. And if you're inspired and you just want to create stuff on the internet, I made this 3 hours long video where I teach you everything you need to know to go from zero to building an entire business using code. And until the next one, I hope you keep shipping.